Hey there, this is Bakari Shabano with Mac Automation Tips. Hey, I'm back with another video about an application that could possibly be better than using AI dictation. If you're interested, stick around and check it out. So, I love using AI dictation. But one of the biggest things is that sometimes when I'm trying to dictate text, I don't know quite what to say sometimes. I get kind of stuck and that can be kind of, annoying. So there's an application called Cotypist. And basically what Cotypist does is it tries to predict what you're saying as you type. So let me show you how it works. And I want to tell you the reason why I think you might want to try it out. So basically, Cotypist works within any application where you do typing. And basically, when you start typing, you'll see it predict text, what you might want to say next, or it's suggesting what you might want to say. So let's say that I'm just going to write Cotypist is a predictive typing tool that uses AI to suggest the next word. So you see right there, that's the prediction it makes. Now I can just either, hit the return key to accept the current word predictive, or if I want to accept the entire phrase, I hit the tab key. So let's just do that. All right. And then or phrase, and then it says, or phrase based upon the context of what and then I want to accept that. And then the context of what you're typing. So that's basically a good definition of what Cotypist is. So Cotypist is a predictive typing tool that uses AI to suggest the next word or phrase based on the context of what you're typing. And what they mean by context is that if you're like typing an email or you're in Slack and it sees the, other content around what you're typing, it also picks up on that to make suggestions. So that's really what's great about it here, right? And so that's how it works here. And you can do it on the word by word. So when I can say something like the difference. I'll take difference between. So I take that one, and I take Cotypist and AI voice to text. So you see it did that. Is that, and I want to say Cotypist, so I'm going to take that whole phrase. Typing tool. Whereas with voice dictation, so let's put it there. It may be difficult to understand what you're saying, or it may be difficult to, so let's say difficult to so I want to say this or this, and then let's see, it can predict the type of based on the context of what you're typing. So now I'm doing this as a kind of a video demo, so it's a little bit tricky to kind of think about this while I'm doing the video. But basically, you see where that is. So it's like the difference between Cotypist and AI voice to text is that Cotypist is a predictive typing tool, whereas AI voice to text is a tool that converts spoken words into text. With voice dictation, it may be difficult to know what to type next, but with Cotypist, it can predict what to type next based on the content of what you're typing. Now, that's a little bit repetitive, and in normal situations, I might not have accepted the suggestions in that particular way, but I just want to show you how that works there. So basically what it is, and any topic that you're typing about, it uses this AI to help to talk about that topic. Now over here, you see a little button here, and this button gives you the ability to hide this button. And normally in the settings, I just keep it off. After a while, I just didn't even need it. So let's go into the settings here, and let's get rid of this. and bring this down a little bit. So here, basically the setup is that you have to kind of set the permissions and things of that sort, which is pretty much the standard with any third-party application. And then you go into your general here and you can launch it if at the login. You can show the status item, display Cotypist icon in the menu bar. Definitely you can, so you can access it from the menu bar, and also has a little gamification where it shows how many words that hit as predicted for you, and you've accepted the prediction. And then you can show the accessory button. So I just turned that off. I usually don't keep it on, but when you first use it, you might want to do that. And then here's your AI settings. It has different language models that suggest the ones that you, might want to try. The larger the language model, probably you want to have more RAM, and I notice to slow it down. So I really haven't tested it on the Quinn 3 base 30. I think, what is that? 13 gigabytes of download there. It seems to be, I switched a couple of times between these two, and it seemed to be about the same to me. But again, anyway, that's the, you use it through the AI model to do that. And then you can go down here to maximum completion length, short 1 to 2 words. I'll keep it at about 7 to 10 words there. And you can go ultra long if you want. As a matter of fact, I might try that at some point. And then you can go into what's called the personalization. And basically what it does, it is collecting input about what you type and things that it sees. So if you're really kind of concerned about that, that you might want to disable this, right? But it does that to kind of improve its completions. And again, a lot of times when I'm typing in context, it really does make some pretty good suggestions, and it saves me from having to type those words out. Or sometimes when I'm kind of struggling to know what to say next, it kind of gives some kind of AI type suggestions, right? And again, you don't have to accept them. You can totally just keep typing until it gets the kind of suggestions that you want. Right, and then it collects that data. You can delete all the data if you want there. So I have 1,353 training data records. It's already in there. And then you go into the shortcuts again. So if you wanted to complete the next word, you do the return key, and if you wanted to trigger the full completion, you use the tab key. And then in some applications, like I think the craft application, I noticed that I have to force it to kind of work in that application. I don't know why, but that's a problem there. And then you can toggle it on and off with this keyboard shortcut. Now, what I did was I use that. I put that keyboard shortcut in Keyboard Maestro, right? I mapped it to Keyboard Maestro, and then I use a string trigger to trigger this this keyboard shortcut, because I think the keyboard shortcut is pretty long. So when I want to toggle it on and off, I just use KK. So I just type KK, and then that's what it does. So because a lot of times it can get in the way of what you're typing, so you want to be able to quickly toggle it off when it gets in your way. Okay, and so you can also do exclusions. You can go to the menu bar and click on the Cotypist item, and then ask it to not put suggestions in, say, a particular website or a particular page or a particular application. So you do that from within the the menu bar there. And then it gives you some stats here. I have 3,174 completions so far, that kind of thing. So a little gamification there. And another thing that it has problems with is it doesn't work the same way inline. So you saw where it gave inline predictions in the little notebook app I was using. But in Arc web browser, it doesn't always do that, and it doesn't do that well at all. So basically, what it'll do, it will show like a little kind of panel above the words where you're typing, and then that's where it will show the predictions, right? And so I wrote the developers several times about that problem, and so he did create suggest a workaround, and I'll put a link to that workaround if you use Arc web browser as much as I do. All right. And so basically that's how it works. And I strongly suggest that you check it out, because right now, while it's still in beta, it is a free download. So I'll put the link to the website and the download in the show notes. But yeah, so I would definitely just check it out and play around with it. At first, I thought it was a little bit intrusive, but now I don't look forward to typing without it. And so I still use voice dictation, but I think that the Cotypist predictions, or just like typing on the iPhone, but it's even better than the prediction on the iPhone. And so I use it there because it's just that I don't have to stop and think about what I'm going to dictate in voice, right? I can just go ahead and keep typing and it will make the predictions for me. So let me know what you think about this application. And if you have any questions, definitely put them in the comments section below. And if this is your first time coming to this channel, definitely please subscribe, because that lets me know that you're interested in what the content that I'm offering. So thanks a lot for checking this out, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.